We are going to make freeze-dried peanut butter. First, we're going to start with 2 cups of water, and we're going to bring that water to a boil. To the boiling water, we're going to add 16 ounces of peanut butter. So basically, we've got 2 cups of peanut butter, we've got 2 cups of water, so it's a 1-to-1 ratio. Unfortunately, all I have is crunchy peanut butter, but you can use crunchy or you can use smooth, either way. Once the peanut butter is added, we're going to mix it with a whisk until it's all dissolved. It's almost like making peanut butter soup. While this is boiling, we want to keep this stirring. We want to bring the peanut butter mixture to a heavy boil. What we want to do is we want to render what oils and fats are in the peanut butter. That will make it easier to freeze dry and not separate in the freeze drying process. And this is medium-high heat. Bring this down now to about medium-low. And when the peanut butter starts to pull away from the sides, basically it's like the oils are leaving the peanut butter and kind of going to the sides and to the top. That's when you know you're just about there. You kind of see it, it's almost like one big pancake, how the peanut butter just wants to leave the sides of the pot. I have the heat turned off now, and we're just going to keep turning this, keep mixing this until it cools down a bit. We don't want anything to burn. As you can see, hopefully you can see, a lot of the oils are coming up to the top of the surface, and that's a good thing because that's one more way we can get rid of some of the oil prior to freeze drying. So I'm going to put this in the refrigerator so the base can kind of set up a little bit, more oil will come up to the top, and then we're going to lay a paper towel on top carefully to suck up any remaining oils we can. So the peanut butter is cooled down, a little bit colder than, well, it's refrigerator temperature. And you may not be able to see it, but you can see little puddles of oil here and there. And that's what we want to remove prior to freeze drying. We just want to take off as much oil as we can without taking up the peanut butter. The more oil we take off, the better this is going to freeze dry. Because oil acts like an antifreeze and will keep it from freezing rock hard. I'm just lightly touching this to the surface, bring up all that oil. Okay, so that's done. Now it's time to pre-freeze and then put it in the freeze dryer. With great anticipation, here's my latest project. And I'm excited about this one because this is one I can actually eat. I want to introduce to you freeze-dried peanut butter. And it looks like it came out pretty darn good. So, it's pretty darn good. If you're wondering what all these little speckles are, I only had chunky style peanut butter. So I have the nuts in here too. So, let's see how this looks. It is really dry, it's really powdery, but there is one test I want to do real quick, because I want to see how much oil may be in here. I really don't sense any oil, I'm going to put some on this test paper for a while, and if this has excessive amount of oil, which I can barely feel on my fingers, it might leave an oil stain there. If there is excessive oil in this product, then we'll just treat it the same way we did with the freeze-dried bacon. We'll vacuum pack it with an oxygen absorber, just to keep all the oxygen out of there. But this looks like it came out really good. So I'm going to throw this through a food processor and powder it, and then go from there. I've seen some comments here, there, and everywhere about putting freeze-dried food into a food processor after it comes out of the freeze dryer, and that it could introduce moisture back into the food. And I'd probably say that's probably right, but in this case, looking at my little weather station here, right now it's 18% humidity, so I don't think I'm going to have a problem with that. But in this case, this freeze-dried peanut butter is going to be easier to use in cooking in a powdered form than in these little chunks and stuff. So that's what I've decided to do. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but there's little teeny speckles where the oil from the peanut butter has landed. So it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but there is still shows a little bit of sign of oil in my freeze-dried peanut butter. Now, if there's going to be a lot of oil in there, when I do this, if this turns back into a paste, that's going to be a problem. I'm hoping it remains a powder. Okay, so that came out pretty good. This is about the consistency of breadcrumbs, and this worked out really well. So I have to give it a taste test here. Boy, that made my mouth go dry, just like peanut butter would. Man. Okay, so this was really successful, and I was thinking of something. Well, here's my freeze-dried chocolate. So what do you think? Freeze-dried chocolate, freeze-dried peanut butter? Are you thinking what I'm thinking? A good old taste treat, except I can't have the chocolate. So, this worked out really well. You should try it for yourself. Thank you for your time, and go out and freeze dry the world. And please subscribe, give me a comment. And now for the all-important Reconstitution. So we're going to put some of this into a bowl. And I have not hot, but hot warm water. And just a little bit at a time. It's better to add more than too much. Now, the peanut butter I took out of the jar was pretty thick. So with this, you can make it as thick as you want, as thin as you want. It was probably so thick, if you were to spread it on bread, it'd probably tear the bread up. So, here we go. That is peanut butter, plain and simple. In fact, I think it's even better than what came out of the jar. So there you have it. Freeze-dried reconstituted peanut butter.